What's up, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, Dan Hafner joining you here. It is Tuesday morning, my friends, and man, I hate Tuesdays. I really got to say, I do. I love Mondays, and I hate Tuesdays. It's just me. Don't let me rain on your parade today, though. Today's topic is this: I hit a wall. As always, thank you all for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. So, I hit a wall. We're going to talk about the topic of resiliency today. Being resilient. Now, to me, I know there's probably a Webster dictionary you can look up, and I honestly didn't look up the real definition of it before doing the show, but to me, resilience is perseverance, right? Like it's just coming back time after time. It's never giving up. It's trying new things. It's tweaking your approach. It's basically just don't stop going. Like it's just that principle, right? So I titled this "I Hit a Wall" because I wanted to talk about, this isn't a metaphor for me. This is kind of something for you, right? What happens to you when you hit walls in your life? Like, what happens to you when you come upon a situation or something happens, either by your design or not by your design, that forces you, or stops your progress, right? And it has to force you to change, right? But we'll get there in a second. So if you think about, a situation at your employment or a business that you have, when you hit a place where you have a promotion coming up, or you have an obstacle that comes up that you have to fix, or you run into a situation inside of your fitness or your health where you find out you have been diagnosed with something, or you just, are in a relationship or something that you hit a wall and there's no progress or anything like that, right? There's a bunch of these situations. So the easiest way to find out if you're resilient or not is to kind of analyze what you do. Like, what do you do in those situations? And be honest with yourself. Do you give up? Do you just throw in the towel? Do you just throw your hands up in the air and be like, well, I guess it's just not meant to be. I guess it's just, this is for somebody else, not for me, right? Or do you become resilient? Do you become more? Do you find more within? Do you figure out a way around something, right? When you're faced with a mountain that you're climbing that gets put in front of you, you have several options, right? You can just pack your bags, turn around and go home and forget about climbing up the mountain in any shape or form, right? You can try to find a way around it. You can go around the mountain rather than going up it. Or the third option is to just go put your head down and just go for it and climb that sucker, right? Those are your three options. You can either pack your bags, go home, try to walk around it and find a workaround, or you can go up it. And obviously the third choice is more difficult. It's much more difficult. Going around something is also more difficult because you run into unforeseen problems. You run into you might run into other mountains. You might run into other problems. But choosing the path of going up that mountain, of knowing that it's going to be difficult, of knowing that you're going to want to quit, of knowing that it's going to suck. That's being resilient, right? When time after time you hit a wall, you hit a problem, you hit an obstacle that you just don't know how to get around, that you just don't know how to overcome. Just keep going, right? That's resilience. So one way that I have found, at least in my life, and I'm even still working through this, so I still have some evidence to prove that this is actually working for me. And one way that you can do this is to really analyze your habits. Like sitting down and really analyzing Are your habits actually serving you towards what you want? Are they serving you to help you overcome that obstacle and to keep going? Right? Are your daily actions or your weekly actions actually helping you overcome the wall that's right in front of you? Or are you kind of subverting, what you're trying to get after subtly by doing things that aren't allowing you to overcome that wall? Right? And this is hard. This is hard to do because it takes a lot of thought, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of mental effort to figure out your habits and to sit down and be truthful about what your habits are and how they're actually, either serving you or not serving you. But when I started to sit down and actually analyze my habits and analyze okay, is this habit something that's making me more resilient, that's making me more effective in overcoming the things that I want to overcome? No, then get rid of it. Replace it with a better one. Improve it. Do something, right? If your habit is no longer allowing you to achieve what you want to achieve, then it needs to go. So my challenge for you today is this. Think of somewhere in your life where you are either being resilient and showing your resilience, or, what is an area of your life where you've not been resilient? Where have you hit a wall in your life and you've given up? Is there a time in your past, a time right now, where you hit a wall and you realize you just decided to pack your bags and go home, right? Maybe it's right now. Maybe it's something you're facing today. And the second part of this is, what habits are you part of, or are you engaging in that are not serving you any longer in becoming more resilient to overcome this? So the first part, think of it a time in your life, either right now or in your past, where you just had some kind of resilience or some kind of wall that caused you to either quit or fail or do something. And secondly, what can you start doing as far as your habits are concerned to start overcoming that and get more resilient and just keep coming back? Okay? So that's going to wrap up today's show. As always, thank you all for joining. Really, really appreciate you guys coming on and listening every single day. Really appreciate you guys. As always, Dan Hafner signing off the Run Your Day podcast. Make it a great rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.